This is the kind of stuff that I really love and can appreciate from Retrobit. When they release games, re-release games, officially, mind you, that are either extremely rare, they do new translations, they do fixes, bringing back those gems type of thing. And it's really cool when they bring out something I've never even heard of before. That's what we're talking about today. Eliminate Down. Never heard of this game, so I had to dig into it when I saw this press release that they put out. But they are doing an open pre-order, so this is going to be like a limited run of the game where only so many are going to be printed, and it's going to depend on how many are ordered, and they are going to be numbered, that kind of thing. Pre-orders are live now. Link's going to be down below. Pre-orders close January 2nd, so about a month or so if you want to pre-order this thing. It's for the Sega Genesis, and this is from an unknown developer, Apronet. So these guys, I never heard of them either, but they didn't really have much credited to them. It looks like they may have done a lot of uncredited work back in the day, maybe in the late 80s, early 90s type of thing. But this was a game that they completely worked on. They had Soft Vision as the publisher. But this game, I looked into it a bit, and I did play it for this video to kind of get an idea of what we're getting ourselves into. But there was a lot of competition at the time. This is a horizontal shooter, especially on the Sega Genesis. Holy crap. There's tons of awesome horizontal shooters for the Genesis or Mega Drive, depending on where you were at in the world. And this one, I looked at some of the reviews from back in the day in Japan. This game was only released in Japan and in South Korea in very limited numbers. I think the speculation on it is that maybe a couple thousand copies were printed for this or manufactured. Not very many at all. It's extremely rare, one of the most rarest games for the Mega Drive or Genesis. But at the time, it did get kind of mixed reviews. It looks like some reviewers really liked it. Some were kind of, it's about average, maybe slightly above average as far as a horizontal shooter. It was just tough at the time to kind of stand apart in a crowd. Maybe that's why it was so, short ran as far as manufacturing goes. I don't know. Maybe it just kind of got lost out in the sea of awesome games. I played it and I really enjoyed it. But I do understand the reviews. It does kind of, it's hard to stand apart from a lot of the classics out there. But this is one where, as I played it, you have multiple weapons. You could cycle through your weapons. Tons of horizontal shooters have that mechanic where you could change your weapons depending on the situation. But a lot of them, from my experience, I find one weapon that I really like, and I just stick with it for the entire game. This game, I feel like almost you can't do that. You're going to have to swap your weapons around. Keeps you on your toes. I mean, most shooters do, horizontal shooters. You got to be on your toes with these types of games. This is a tough one, but I felt like I had to change my weapon depending on the situation. I just had to. Otherwise, there's so much crap going on the screen. I have to adjust every time a new enemy comes out or a new sequence or, the level shifts. So I did enjoy that. It was a lot of fun. So like I said, you could pre-order this thing now. It's a very expensive game if you want an original copy of it. It used to go for very little money back in the day before people really cared about retro game collecting. But nowadays, I mean, you could look this up. Going on eBay and whatnot, you'll find loose copies of this game between like $500, $800 or so. Complete in box. Genesis Mega Drive games, to me, it's like, I don't like having Genesis games not in the box. Like, they made awesome boxes. I want it in the damn box. If you find a copy of this in the box, like over $1,000, freaking ridiculous. So with so few copies out there, I think this is even if it's not like the greatest shooter or shoot 'em up in the world, I think this is a really unique thing for them to do. I don't even know like who owns the rights to this game nowadays, but for Retrobit to work with them and to be able to re-release this to everybody who wants a copy as such an unknown game, I think is really sweet. Expensive game. No, not everybody's into this kind of stuff, and that's fine. Play your games any which way you want, but these Retrobit releases, they're I think they're nice. I mean, the quality of the plastics they're using, I know it's not normal plastic. It's something else, but it's a nice sturdy plastic for the shell. This one's supposed to be a Emerald Nebula cartridge. Looks like it has like metal flake in the green, translucent cartridge. It looks nice. A whole little collector's edition here. I think, what is the price on this thing? $59.99 for this with the it's got a lenticular cartridge slipcover. Nice. I think it's like from the intro to the game type of thing, and it's numbered as well. Reversible art featuring the original and new covers, so that's really cool. Hey, I just like talking about these things when Retrobit puts out these press releases. Spread the word. A lot of times these games come out and they only so many get made. I mean, it just depends on how many get ordered. They don't do re-releases of their releases, so once the pre-orders are gone, that's it. Secondary market, or sometimes like a lot of these little retro game shops will pick up a bunch of them to sell them to the public type of thing. So you could still find them, but it's just like there's so many releases Retrobits put out that just start being sold for ridiculous amounts of money. So if this is something that interests you, I highly recommend pre-ordering it. If not, that's fine. Either way you want to go about it. But like I said, I love when Retrobit does stuff like this, releasing these rare games. And this one is probably one of the rarest, I think. Never even heard of it. I enjoyed it. It's a cool game. But like I said, there is tons of shooters that came out around that time. And this one just kind of got, lost in the shuffle, the mix there. And yeah, really cool, interesting release here. First time, North America. The rest of the world outside of Korea or South Korea wasn't, the other Korea, from what I understand. South Korea and Japan. Nice little collection here. Nothing like crazy with it. No little package of stickers, it looks like, or little acrylic stands. I don't know. It's just like, hey, it's a Sega Genesis game in a Sega Genesis box, hard plastic box, in a slipcover. I can appreciate it. I hope you can as well. They also note in their press release that a portion of the profits of this game goes to the Video Game History Foundation. So if that's something you care about, hey, now you know. They're donating some money to these guys that try to preserve gaming's history one way or another. But let me know what you think. Really do appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging. Bye.